Greetings. I'm wanted to share a new deck with you today. I didn't think I would be doing these series on these new decks because, I've been very, very loyal to the decks that I have, to my hoi polloi that I use all the time here. And some of you may be following me in the Wildwood Tarot, the series I'm doing in the Wildwood Tarot. But I have an opportunity coming up the end of October to be a tarot reader at a fundraiser, something very, very close to my heart. It's for cat rescue, local cat rescue here. A friend of mine who's running it got me in as a tarot reader for the event. And I'm so excited about it, and I thought, oh, that would be so much fun to do. And then I thought, wouldn't it be fun to use, instead of just one deck of cards, to offer a couple of decks? And I messaged Arwen and asked her for recommendations on cat cards, and she told me to try the Cat's Eye Tarot, and that's what I did. I did a little bit of research online and looked at different tarot cards with the with cat images in them, and there are quite a few. But I really like this one a lot because, number one, it is really close to a Rider-Waite system, so I'm already a little bit familiar. But also, the images I love so much because it is images of cats doing things that are cat-like, which I think the people in the rescue will really like. Some of the cat decks, are really good for cat lovers because they have like cats. Some of them have cat heads on people bodies, but this is the cat itself. And the more I look at the deck, the more I'm really intrigued by it because it's showing the cats in cat situations, which the rescue people are really going to love. I think this is going to be something they really, really like too. So I just thought I would come on here quickly, if I can, and do a real run through with the deck. I haven't had that time to really look at it, but a few things have gotten my attention on the deck. So I thought, and I took some notes. Excuse me for looking down, because I want to make sure that I tell you what I wanted. Some of the differences that I really like, some of the things I really like about the deck, and then I'm not sure. I will either do this in two. I'll probably do this in two parts because so you have a chance. We'll go through the major arcana first, and then if you like it, you can come back and watch the minor arcana. If not, you can just skip it. That's okay. You won't hurt my feelings. Okay, so anyway, I was looking through the major arcana first, and the very first card I loved it so much. The Fool card, and here it is. We see a little kitten perching on a balcony, and trying to reach. What is she trying to reach? Oh, she's just batting at this bumblebee that's up there. That's what I want to say. Bumblebee. So it still has the same feeling, it gives you the same feeling as you would get in the Fool card in the Rider-Waite, but he's standing at the edge of the looking down into not looking down into what's below. It's sort of oblivious to what's below. I'm sorry, I'm very distracted because I think all of my pets are in this room right now, and they're really distracting me. And can I have this? Taking things out of my dishes here. Cut it out. They're kind of distracting me. Anyway, the same feeling that you get on the Fool card, but is he going to fall off of here? He's so distracted he's trying to bat up the branch here, and there's a bumblebee. And I really like that because it's using the bumblebee to consider the risk that you take before you take that leap. So I really, really like that a lot. Okay, then we get to the Magician. This is so cool too because here we see a black cat outdoors, and it's reminding us, this card reminds us that this cat is neither domestic nor wild. They can survive in both places. Anything is possible, and it shows the things that are around him. It shows the what do you have here? And we have the bird, the lizard, a lizard, a fish, bird, and a mouse, all in the representing the energies in the cat's universe. And so, as the magician card, using all the tools at his fingertips, he can survive both in the wild and in domestic life. So that is really cool. Okay, so it's a good, it's a really good representation, I thought, of that card. Then we have the High Priestess. I love this a lot because it's talking about it shows a white cat, could be Betty White, who's over here on the bed watching me. She's ready. She's going to go out if she wants to out that window and discover what's out there. She's never going to let you know what she learns when she comes back in. So it's talking to you about trusting your own intuition. Trusting your own intuition. What are you doing? Quit that. Trusting your own intuition. Looking for answers. And that's kind of cool. The Empress is here represented here with a mother, as a mother cat protecting her kittens. I love that. The Emperor. I love this one because the Emperor is more about tough love, right? And the kitten, he's watching the kitten try. I hope you can see this. I don't know, but it's a mature male cat, and there's a kitten that's trying to climb up there, and either trying to climb up with him or just batting on his tail or whatever he's trying to do. And he's watching with wisdom. He's watching. He's very wise, and he is again a protector, but he has the ability to decide when to step in and control the situation, maybe help the kitten out, or just let the kitten figure it out for himself. So it's a little bit more about tough love. Okay, then we have the Hierophant. In this card, the Hierophant, it talks about, in this one, considering the role of community in with cats, because it talks about they don't have a real hierarchy as a pack of dogs might have. They have very complex social relationships, but they have cat etiquette that has to be learned. And it talks about kittens. This is something that the rescue people would be interested in. The kittens who are not raised from birth with other cats really don't sometimes ever develop those cat behaviors that the cat manners really. And I have a few of those in my house. Betty White is one of those. Betty White was rescued at a very young age, probably 4 weeks old. We bottle fed her for a while. She really has never bonded with the other cats. She has trouble getting along. And Pyewacket was a kitten that was abandoned outside. She was living in my yard under a bush for weeks. It took me to try to capture her, so I had to trap her to catch her. And she's really never, the difference between the two, Betty White thinks she's a person, doesn't think she's a cat. She's very attached to us in a very possessive way. And Pyewacket is really not she's really not close with anybody. She's kind of still off on her own. So some of these behaviors still stay here. And in this card, it talks about, the energies here asking you to consider your role within the community. What is your role? If you get this card in a draw, I thought that was interesting to look into. Okay, the Lovers. This is a really cute card. The Lovers ask about what is the level of commitment in the in your relationship. Okay, you're just determined to have that. I don't know why. He's determined to have it, so I guess I'll let him have it. A leaf from my I'm drying roses and he's determined on getting the leaf. Lovers, the idea of you see in this picture, this is what I wanted to say. They seem very, they're devoted to each other, but the tomcat is looking over his shoulder out the window, because many cats are like this, that they demand if they want to. be released and let to go, have their freedom to come and go as they please. It's really hard if you've ever had a cat like that and you want to try to keep them indoors. It's very hard to do so. It's possible but difficult. The first cat I ever had, he learned how to not only open the door, move the doorknobs, manipulate a doorknob on a door, but he learned how to remove a screen from a window in order to get out. So when he wanted out, he was going to go out. So this cat, as a lover's card, is a nice little twist because from the regular Rider-Waite deck, that this is asking you to look at the level of commitment in your relationships. Okay, let's see. Number 7 is the Chariot. And here the Chariot is a hunter. He has shown a prowess with hunting, this little cat. And but the question in this one is, are you the hunter or are you being hunted? Is sort of the twist on this cat, on this card, and it's asking you who or what is driving you in your life. And remember, the Chariot talks about how a chariot is a very powerful vehicle, mode of transportation, vehicle of transportation, if the horses are working together. But as soon as it's and very forceful if it's moving ahead. But it's very vulnerable from the sides. It's very vulnerable. Or, of course, if the horses in the car try to go to different directions. Kind of interesting. This is, again, really a very quick run through. I'm not telling you the meanings of the cards. Please don't try to remember this. This is stuff I only got from the little book and from looking at the pictures, observing things, looking at observations of what is the difference between this deck and my Rider-Waite deck. Here, so it's just, so I'm trying, this is my first step in trying to familiarize myself with the deck. Here we have the Strength card, and we have a little kitten and a big dog. And neither one is really trying to impose their will on the other one. They're just sort of looking at each other. They're not trying to be aggressive with each other. So they're just trying to, they're exercising patience, compassion, just quiet strength to keep a hand on the situation. What are you doing? And now my dog is eating the trash. Get out there. Stop. Okay. And the Hermit, this is a little different too. The Hermit, this one shows an old cat living in an alley here, and it talks about the Hermit living in solitude, but he's not without his companionship. So something is, because he has maybe a visit coming out the door, the man who works, this is like in the back of a restaurant, you can tell, because the package is underneath. It sort of reminds you, reminiscent of Lady and the Tramp, how Tramp would go to the door and the guy in the restaurant would come out and feed him. I think this cat is waiting for that. So he's got wisdom. He knows where to come for food or whatever, but he still keeps his distance. He still keeps his independence. And this acts about, it talks about speaking about sharing the wisdom that he's gained through his experiences to be able to manipulate himself both in the wild and as he relates to people and other animals, whatever. Okay. I really like the Wheel of Fortune. I love this one. This one caught my attention right away. The Wheel of Fortune, if you can see, I don't know if you can, but the Wheel of Fortune depicts a cat. First of all, there's 2 sparrows, there's 2 birds up here. There's a cart with feed in it, grain. And the birds are ripping apart the grain sacks in order to get to the grain. Oops. And maybe the cats that were watching the sparrows got distracted because as they rip apart the grain, there are mice on the ground eating the grain that has fallen. Here is a cat getting attention to the mouse, and this cat up here is now paying attention to the cat that's with the mice. So it talks about everything first of all comes with risk. Good fortune for the birds, good fortune for the mice, comes with risk of the cats. Good fortune And also things are about to change all the time, because these animals get his attention, the birds could fly away. He might lose the birds. Or the birds having gained the attention away from the mice. So this is kind of cool. But it's complex. It's a complex, talks about luck is complex and changing and all the time. And sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Sometimes you get the grain, sometimes you get eaten. Okay, Justice. This cat is it just come in a door from the out of doors. And there is also a balance. There's a balance that he's seeking between the freedom of the out of doors and the comfort inside. It's up to him to decide what he will take when he's presented with it. Should he go out or should he come in, and the benefits of having both worlds. Okay. So it's maintaining for this cat the balance between being free and the comfort that he gets from being in the house. But of course, then there's rules of the house that he has to follow. So he's responsible for everything, any kind of decision that he takes. Okay, the hanged kitty rather than the hanged man. Very vulnerable position this cat has taken. So it's very comfortable. You can see that the cat is very comfortable. He's laying on his back in front of a fire on a cozy rug, belly up, and that's the most vulnerable position for an animal to take, showing their belly to the enemy. He's willing to let down his guard. And reflect. And the sentiment of the card is, perhaps, maybe also you might need to look at things from a different angle. We know that from the hanged man who is upside down. Okay. I don't know why. Now he's taking a whole rouse. I don't even want to die. All right. The death card. The death card. That has, thorns. That can't be good. The death card here, kind of a sad little card. This poor little cat is sitting inside, looking outside at the frozen world outside. It's not a good day to go out. He's going to be in. It's just, he's going to have to just accept it. It's just a bad, cold day, and he's just not going to go out. So it's the end of his adventures outside for a little while, and maybe the start of his adventures inside for a little while. But anyway, sometimes something's lost. His freedom here is lost, so he sometimes has to accept the change. We sometimes have no choice, just in the death card. But here it's illustrated through this little kitty in the window. Okay, Temperance. Temperance. Let's see. Temperance. The little kitty's a black kitty and a white kitty. We see this in my house. Sort of look like the symbol, the yin and yang symbol. I call for spiritual balance. And just, avoidance of excessive behavior. I like the way that the kitties are perched on this little ledge overlooking this big fall into the ocean and rocks below. I really like to do a little more study on this card. A little different than what we're used to. Okay. The Devil card. Oh, this is one of my favorites. I looked at this because this one, pleasure bringing temporary relief. It's a fat cat who's eating and eating and eating, and probably by the look of the cat and the dishes around him, he has really an endless supply of food. But look where he is. He has no way. He's just really trapped in a prison. In a very stark environment, cold environment. Doesn't even have any view from a window. It's just this block wall. Nothing but a dryer beside him. So he's in the basement somewhere. It talks about looking beyond what you have, if he would just walk away from that dish. And, you know, this is this worth a life, just living there, eating and eating and eating? He's missing all of life. He's missing the outdoors. Who knows what else he's missing? So this is not a great card. Okay. This is another one that I love, love, love. And if you've seen my other videos, you know why. This is the Tower card. And I was really excited about this because represented by a cat. Because if you've ever seen me talk about the Tower card in the Rider-Waite deck, you see me say that they're falling, the people are falling from the tower, but we don't see what they're falling onto below. You know, we don't know. Are they falling onto rocks? Are they falling into water? Are they falling into a bed of feathers? We don't know. Well, here it's implied. Look at the cat and look at his feet. Whether or not the cat is falling from this ledge or has fallen from this balcony up here or has jumped, we don't know. But look at his feet. His feet are prepared to make a landing, and they say cats land on their feet. So we believe he's going to land on her feet. She's going to land on her feet. So this is really just about the change. It might be an uncomfortable change, but eventually it's going to be okay. So that's why we see, you know, her landing on her feet, and I really, really like that. And it ties into the next card, the Star, that now the cat has indeed landed, and the cat is now, this is the calm after the storm card, and there's new hope because the cat is now, there's the flowing waters of life and being renewed, etc., and the storm is over, and also the possibility now to follow that path through the woods to get to the light of day. So that's a really cool thing. Likewise, the Moon card. This is kind of a cool card. Here we see a cat perched up, and I think that's Betty White again, perched up into a tree. And she looks a little bit alarmed. Interesting, cats are good navigating in the dark, usually feel very safe in the dark, but something is frightening this cat. So, we're not sure if these are real fears or imagined fears. If there's really something stalking this cat or putting the cat in danger, or these are imagined fears. So this card, of course, is reminding us to try to separate the truth from illusion. So this is kind of a nice little cool way to depict that. I like that a lot. Then we have the Sun card. The Sun card, I'm not sure if you can see it, but the cat is like outside in the garden area, and there's a wall in the back of the garden, but there is no gate on the wall. So he is free to come and go as he pleases, but he's just really content to be there. Okay, he's really content to be where he is right now. He feels good and confident and renewed. His energy is renewed, and he's just, you know, same kind of a sentiment as the Sun card in the Rider-Waite, but a little sweeter, I think, with the cat. Honey baby, how are you? This is see, my kitten really grew. Look at this, how big he grew. This is Twitchit. Twitchit. You can go in the window or you can leave the room. Then we have the Judgment card. We see two cats up on a ledge with the figure of a stone cat angel, and which is in the booklet. It describes her as being the figurine as being a mother, like a mother cat. Seems to provide protection, maybe inspiration to these two cats that are up there. But anyway, it's talking about what kind of lessons have you learned or achieved, so that, you know, you have an opportunity for progress. It's a little different because the Judgment card in the Rider-Waite deck, it usually talks about letting go of the past. That's usually the way I read it. Very often I read it that way. But this one talks about learning. What have you learned from the past? Okay. and what opportunities have been given to you because of what you've learned. And then finally, in the Major Arcana, the World card. And it's a nice depiction. It has everything there. It has now the snake, the bird, the fish, and the mouse. Okay, we've got all the energies. We have the sun and the moon. And we have the whole universe, or galaxy, right here at the cast thing. And there's the apple, ready. He's ready to grab the apple. And it's the promise of success. You know, he's completed the journey in a successful way. He started out, remember in the Fool's Journey, he started out just batted at really nothing. And now there's finally an apple. I'm not sure what he's going to do with the apple, but anyway, it's there. It's kind of cute. You know, anyway, the, not too much difference from the Rider-Waite deck, but enough difference that it kind of makes, it's a kind of a cute way to look at it. I wish, if you're interested at all, stay tuned for the Minor Arcana. I'm going to break here and do the Minor Arcana, because some of those are really, really, really neat images, and sometimes, and in a way, almost easier to read, I think. Well, I won't say that. Cards 1 to 10 may be easier to read than in the Rider-Waite. In the Rider-Waite, or in the hoi polloi, in my case, hoi polloi, my hoi polloi deck. Okay, so I'm going to break. If you're going to say goodbye to me after this and not come back for the Minor Arcana, I totally understand. Thank you for watching this far, and I thank you for coming to my channel, and as always, I wish you blessings.